guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I'm back. I'm better, I'm happy, I'm ready to talk about what school I chose, because everything these past few months, or maybe even the past 2 years since junior year, maybe even since freshman year, it's been about college. What school are you going to? What are you doing after high school? And I feel like it's finally getting to the end. I'm happy to share this with you guys. Today is National Decisions Day. Well, not today. I'm actually recording this like the day before, but it'll go up tomorrow, which would be National Decision Day. I'm going to be revealing what school I'm going to, how you can get in, why I chose this school, what were my scores to get in, you know, the whole process of getting in, what I had to go through, what I look forward to, all of that. So yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, this is the perfect video for you. Let's get into it. I'm not even going to wait, hold y'all, or any of that. So let's go. Okay, so I figured it'd be best to talk about what school I chose. So if you can't tell by the red lip, the scrunchie, the makeup, all of that, I've chose the illustrious Clark Atlanta University. Now, my top 3 schools, when I was deciding, I was constantly debating between Howard University, which is in Washington, D.C., Spelman, and Clark Atlanta. Honestly, I've always known, if you've been watching my video, you might have my videos, you might have heard me mention before that I want to attend an HBCU school. This has always been the case with me, honestly. Like, ever since I even was introduced to HBCU schools, I was like, yeah, I'm going to one of those. So honestly, like, I don't know why. It's just, well, I do know why. It's basically because I feel like that's where I would, you know, feel the most comfortable, the most at home. And honestly, considering the fact that, well, I actually live in Chicago and there's no HBCU schools in Illinois. So it's like, considering the fact that I'm going to be going away to school, I feel like I need to be at a place where, for one, I feel at home. For two, I'm not saying that you can't be discriminated against in other places, but I'm just saying that I don't want to have to deal with none of that. I want to go focus on what I need to do, find my crowd, fit in, you know, have a success story, not have to worry about all these, you know, I just don't want to deal. So that's my choice. If you feel differently about that, it's nothing against PWIs or, you know, regular institutions or anything like that. I have no beef, nothing against that. I'm just saying that's what I chose, and I actually did apply to you know, regular universities that were not HBCU schools. So honestly, it has nothing to do with that. I'm going to talk about my whole college process, so let's get into it. So like I said before, my top 3 were Howard, Spelman, and Clark Atlanta. Since, like, I think a couple videos ago, I told you guys, like, I love Spelman. Spelman is my dream school. But honestly, if your dream school costing as much as Spelman costing, you might have to rethink your dream school. So honestly, and I think I mainly said that Spelman was my dream school because of, for one, the location. It's located, am I talking fast? Let me calm down. For one, it's located in Atlanta, which is an ideal spot for me, being that I come from Chicago. So it's like I need to be in like a metropolitan area. I need to be where it's like a big city. I'm more into like the fast-paced things. I can't go to like a small town. That's not my cup of tea. Like, I need to be where I'm going to be seeing people all the time, talking fast-paced, big city, like, you know, that's my type of thing. So I knew that I wanted to go to a big city, which was kind of like, I know Washington DC is like fast-paced because I know it's like the president there, all that stuff, but honestly, that's about it that I know about Washington DC, and that wasn't like persuasive enough for me to be like, I really love Howard. So it's like, out of the 3, Howard was for sure 3rd. But once it came to like the financial packages, which I will get into in a second, that's when Howard was about like the top 2. But I will say, like, based off location, I was mainly sold on Spelman and Clark Atlanta. But and then also, like, my uncle lives there, my grandpa lives there. So it was just like, if I need to be close to family, or, you know, just like an anchor there, I could for sure have them. So that was also like a plus to both of those schools. And then with Spelman being like an all-girls school, I felt like it'd be a sense of like sisterhood, which is something that I'm very interested in when I go to school. I definitely want to join a like sorority or like some type of like mentorship, sisterhood program, because that's just something I've always been in. I've always been into like, you know, this whole sense of like girl empowerment, women empowerment thing. So I definitely was looking forward to that at Spelman. And honestly, I think I still could have that at Spelman, being that Clark, Morehouse, and Spelman are all located in the AUC. I'm not sure like necessarily what the unity there is, because like I watched a few videos like how y'all watching this video. I watched a few like, you know, college videos, looked up, you know, the whole experiences at Spelman, at Clark, etc. And honestly, like I can't really get a feel of how the unity there definitely is, especially considering that we were just in like a pandemic. So, you know, the regulations have changed, the interaction has, you know, been minimized, etc. So I don't know, I will have to see that for myself and then share that with you all, which I look forward to, y'all. Like I really can't wait to show you guys my moving day. We can do some college vlogs, homecoming vlogs, all of that. Like make sure you hitting that subscribe button, make sure you're commenting video ideas, because I'm bringing it all to you guys. Nothing is off limits. I'm so excited for like my whole college experience, and I want to share that with y'all, the good, the bad, all of it. And so honestly, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying like my top three. So my top three was Spelman, Howard, and Clark. About Clark, that was good for me is because my scores were higher than what Clark required. I think they require like, hold on, let me get my notepad so we can talk numbers and all of that. So hold on. So if you guys see me looking down a little, I'm looking at my laptop. I typed the question, not the questions, but like the things I wanted to, you know, make sure I'm hitting, the points I wanted to hit in this video. I typed it in my Google Doc. So if you see me looking down, that's my business. So okay, so what school am I attending? I told you guys that I'm attending Clark Atlanta University. I'm so excited. I've been watching, you know, videos about it, people's experiences, their vlogs, etc. And I'm happy to be attending there. So if you're going to be a part of CAU 25, you can comment below. I'll put my social handles in the description box. Let's talk housing, let's talk all that. If you want to be my roommate, if you know, you want to have a familiar face when we enter campus, let's talk about it. So comment below, identify yourself. Don't be shy, because I'm not that girl. Like, I'm not that girl who not gonna reply, or that girl who gonna be turning my nose up to you or anything like that. So just talk to me, let me know, not me hitting this thing with the laptop. Okay, so why did I choose Clark? I chose Clark because for one, I felt like it was where I would be financially comfortable. Everybody knows, it's no secret that HBCU schools are not the most, like, you know, giving with scholarship money. And I don't know if it's because, I don't really know. I think I should research that. That should be something that's really like interesting to research, but I'm sure we all know the reason. I just think HBCU schools are not like, they're not given the same reason. Maybe not, I don't know. Let me not speak on something I don't know. I just think maybe it's because they just don't have it. So if they don't have it to give, they probably don't give it, or maybe they use it for something else, or maybe they just stingy. I don't know the case, but I do know that I've always had that in the back of my mind, that maybe I wouldn't be getting a full ride, maybe not full tuition, whatever it is, but as long as I feel like the school is giving me something that's my worth, I mean, because I worked hard. Like I worked hard all 4 years of my high school experience. I've made sure to maintain nothing but A's and B's. I've made sure to keep at least a 3.5 GPA. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go to any school that's offering me, like, not saying, mind you, any scholarship money is a plus, but if you feel like a school is like cheating you, or, you know, giving you $500, not 500, but you know what I mean, like just a couple $100, couple thousand, and you feeling like that's not what you're worth, or that's not what your scores or potential reflects, then don't go to that school. And I felt like sometimes with many of the schools that not many of the schools I applied to, but like say for instance Spelman, I feel like it didn't give me what I feel like I deserved. So I wasn't, you know, really into going there. And then with Howard, like I mentioned earlier, like it was never my top two. My top two was mainly Spelman and Clark, but Howard was in the top three. So once Spelman was ruled out, Howard was kind of like, you know, ruled out as well. So it says, what were my other options? Like I said, my other options were Spelman, Howard, but I also applied to some Illinois schools as well, just because my counselor, you know, she told me like, you can't just apply to out-of-state schools, because mind you, because I mentioned no HBCU schools in Illinois, and I applied to, you know, the HBCU schools that I was most interested in. And she basically said, like, you can't just be applying to these out-of-state schools because you never know what could happen, which is true. You never know what could happen financially, or just maybe you'll have trouble getting to and from, you know, whatever state you choose, or whatever the case may be. So she was just like, you know, make sure you apply into some Illinois schools, some schools close by. So, you know, I did that. I applied to Northwestern. I got accepted there. I applied to, sorry, my mind is like going blank. Oh, I applied to NIU. I applied to Howard Clark Spelman. And then I didn't even check up on many of my schools that I applied to, just because like I said, I'm very like tunnel vision. If I know what schools I'm interested in, if I know that I'm not going to a school other than an HBCU school, I'm not really going to give it much of my time, to be honest. I'm just, at this point, I'm just going to apply just because I know that's a, like, you know, graduation requirement, or if that's what, you know, I feel like might be a good idea to do, I'm going to do that. But I know in my heart what I was going to choose anyway. So, okay, what scores does Clark require? Now, I looked this up before I got on here. When I was first applying, it was in like the 900s. And then I think the GPA was like, I don't know, like a 3.0. I don't really remember, but I know it was somewhere near that, which is not really too hard to get, you know, which are not really, you know, too hard of scores to reach, whatever. So yeah, that's what it said at first. But then when I just Googled it before I got on here, it said that the GPA, the average GPA of the last class, the class that came before me, so CAU 24, was 3.4 GPA and a 1050 SAT score, which I would try to, like, if you are looking to go to Clark Atlanta, I would try to aim for those scores, because you always want to try to get higher than the average. You know, you don't want to get the basic requirement. If you do, girl, that's good, get in, whatever. But I'm saying what I would aim for, if you have to take it more than once, if you have to try a little harder to ace your classes, persuade your teacher to give you an A instead of a B, or whatever the case may be, I would do that. Because you never want to, you know, be in the below average scene, because that gives them a chance to say, you know, to turn you around. Versus if you're above average, it's like, don't play with me. So yeah, my scores on the SAT, I got a 1170, and for my GPA, right now my GPA is a 4.6, but that's because it's weighted. I take AP classes and honors classes, but I think unweighted 4.6 is about like a 3.5. But don't quote me. I'm just sure that I think it's like a 3.5. But I could be wrong. I'm really excited. I put that on here, like things I'm excited and looking forward to. I'm mainly looking forward to just the atmosphere as a whole. Like, I know that it's going to be a different experience for me because it's out of state, and then it's like it's college, and I'm going to be living alone, and I've never been alone ever. So I know it's going to be different for me, especially leaving like my family, my friends, everybody, my boyfriend, etc. But I do know that it's going to be a learning experience. I think it's going to be pretty fun. I think it's going to be worth it. I think I'm going to have the time of my life, and if not, I'm going to make the best of it, and then I come home. The year that I applied to Clark Atlanta, it was not a requirement to submit your SAT scores, because as you guys know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So they were like, don't submit your SAT scores, it's optional, do if you do if you don't. So I decided to submit mine because I heard that, like, my counselor was telling me, my mom, everybody was telling me, if your scores are higher than what they require, then definitely submit them, because you ain't got nothing to hide. So I did that. So when I applied, I'm just going to tell you guys my route to applying to Clark Atlanta, and you can follow it if you will. So I applied through the Common App. You can also apply directly through the site, or through the Black Common App. That's literally what it's called. I'm not naming it. So you can look up the Black Institution Common App, or you can just apply through the regular Common App. That's what I did. So I applied through the Common App. That's one. You had to write a 500-word essay, and it was like 2 different prompts to choose from. I chose like the easiest one, and I wrote 500-word essay on that. Probably try to go a little bit above 500, 550, so you could look a little fancy. I submitted a fee waiver, because ain't nobody trying to pay for no application fees if they don't have to. So ask your counselor if you can, you know, apply with a fee waiver, which I think most people can. I'm not sure. Or at least you get a couple, like at least 3 or 5 schools you can apply to with a fee waiver. And then I also had to submit a teacher recommendation, a counselor recommendation. So this is what I'm saying. Get close to your teachers, get close to your counselors. Make sure when they're writing about you, they're not just saying, she is nice, she raises her hand, she like, you know, basic things. Make sure they are able to like elaborate on your character. They can talk about how they met you freshman year and how you've grown so much into now. They can talk about like how in the beginning of the class you were like shy, but now you've like prospered. And then your counselors, like maybe it's kind of hard to get close to your counselors because they have like all these other students, but just try, give it your best shot. I forgot to mention like what I'll be majoring and minoring in, which is like the most important part. I don't know how I forgot, but this is like an after the fact clip. I don't know where I'm gonna squeeze this in at, but I'll be majoring in sociology and minoring in journalism on a pre-law course. I'm gonna be going to law school soon, so you guys will see that, not soon, but after my undergraduate degree, you guys will see that journey as well. But I'll be majoring in sociology just because I'm really interested in like humans and their interactions in general. I think I want to work in like some type of, you know, therapy, or just to study the behaviors of people, or like give advice in some type of sort. I don't know if I necessarily want to be a psychologist or not, but I do know that I want to work in that type of, you know, way, and I'll figure out exactly what career I want to pursue. But I do know that it'll be definitely in sociology. At first I was thinking psychology, but I'm more interested in the behaviors than more so like the mind. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm interested in journalism because I can see myself being like an author, maybe a writer in the future, and these are things that I think I will have to study under journalism. I'm not sure what all it entails, but I know that I'm interested to find out. I'll be looking up these things as well, but I know the minoring thing is not necessarily the most important, but I'm for sure gonna stick to my major that I'm thinking of, and if that changes then I'll update you guys. But I'm definitely thinking of majoring in sociology, minoring in journalism, and on a pre-law course because I want to be a lawyer. That's my ultimate goal. Okay, I don't know why y'all didn't tell me that. It sounded like I was out of breath and that my nose was running, but we gonna get back into it. I forgive y'all. So, okay, another thing is I submitted my academic resume. This is not something that most schools gonna require you to do, but I feel like if you can, then do it. It doesn't have to be anything that's like, you know, really lengthy or like extra impressive. It can just be something that's telling them what you've done and why you can be like potentially a good student at their school, like what you can offer them. For instance, like throughout my high school experience, I was a student ambassador. I'm now a member of class congress and National Honor Society, and you know, like volunteering to help out with certain events at your school, just other things like that. Maybe like tutoring the freshmen while you were a sophomore, or you know, things like that. I think those are good things to mention in your academic resume, and these are things that like are not necessarily a requirement, so it's like it can't really hurt you unless you're on there saying something crazy. But why would you be doing that? So honestly, to just say things that you've done around the school, things that you've done in your community, maybe, I feel like that's something that could just give you an extra boost, and compared to a student who might have didn't submit their academic resume. So I went ahead and submitted mine, and then also they require you to submit your official transcript, which you can just get from your counselor. When I applied to Clark Atlanta, I applied early action. I actually applied early action to like most of my schools. It's just because once I was ready, I was trying to get these applications out the way, because you do have to write these like, you know, short 500 word, maybe 1,000 word essays to go with the application. And it's like, I didn't want to be doing that, you know, throughout the school year, on top of like my other work. So it was like, let me get those out the way. So I think early action is something you definitely want to do, but don't get that confused with early decision, which is like binding. So it's like if you apply to a school early decision, which you're only allowed to apply to one school early decision, if they give you, you know, enough money financially, you have no choice but to go to that school. It's like a contract. And it's crazy because I was about to apply to Spelman early action, because I was like, I mean, not early action, early decision. Because I was like, I don't care, regardless of like what money they give me, I'm going to go there. But I'm glad I didn't do it. Nothing against Spelman though. Like I'm still going to be, when I go to school, I'm still going to be looking at their campus. I'm still going to be trying to make friends over there just to see, like, because I love Spelman, like I always have. But Clark is just where it's at for me, and I think I'm going to grow to love it just as much, if not more. So yeah, I told you guys my scores already. We can talk a little bit about FAFSA. So yeah, FAFSA, everybody know what FAFSA is. If you don't, like, your counselors can give you the rundown on that. I don't want to mislead anybody or nothing like that, but FAFSA is just like, it's what you have to do to get money from the government, basically. And you want money from the government, you want their grants, you want whatever they need, not the loans part, but if you need to take out a loan, that's their business. Like, I have to, or I probably will, because I am going to try to apply to some outside scholarships. But other than that, like, you might have to take out a loan. So I'm not saying loans are a bad thing, but I'm saying the FAFSA will help you, you know, get as much money as you can. Milk them. They be milking us with the, you know, the little taxes and stuff. So if they're offering you some money, fill that FAFSA out and take that money. The only thing, I mean, something that I did want to mention was the vaccine requirement that was just announced, like, I think last week, saying that all students that are going to Clark Atlanta, Spelman, or Morehouse is going to be required to get the vaccine, which is something I'm a little, like, iffy about. Not that I'm, like, against the vaccine, because don't get me wrong, anything that could get this COVID stuff wrapped up and out the way as soon as possible, I'm for it. But it's just, I like to, like, move at my own pace. It's like, who you talking to? And I got to get it. But I'm gonna update y'all on that process. I might even vlog. No, I'm not gonna vlog myself getting it, because it won't be a cute sight. Like, I'm gonna be disturbed and sad and crying, because no. But we'll see. I think that's basically it. I do want to wrap it up by saying, if you're going to CAU 25, reach out to me. Let's talk. If you're going to be a prospective student trying to, you know, go to Clark Atlanta in the future, please let me know. Or if you just have any advice, you're seeking any advice about any college that you're going to, whether it's a HBCU, whether it's Clark, or just, you know, another institution, let me know. Comment them below. You can comment some video ideas. Make sure you guys follow me. And yeah. Oh, also, you can go on my TikTok, which is linked below, to see the mini tutorial on this look, because I did not record this for YouTube. But basically, that's it. I'm sorry that it was so long that I was away, but I promise y'all I'm back. And yeah.